Okay, the moon just moved into Cancer. And what does that mean for the weekend? This is November 22nd. This is Holly Hall from Askhollyhall.com. I'm a life coach, but I use my background education in philosophy and psychology, as well as a master astrology, remote viewing, clairvoyance to work with my clients. I get a heads up of what your soul and your destiny is according to what I see astrologically and in the insights and the downloads that I receive throughout my sessions, whether it's a 15-minute session that's emailed to you or I'm talking to you one-on-one live. The brilliant thing about this energy this weekend is we're going to be in touch with our heart center. We're going to have conversations with people about why we're in touch with our heart center, but we're going to rationalize it. We're going to throw it up in our head and we're going to try to philosophize it and know that there's a theory behind why we're feeling what we're feeling. We're going to get enmeshed with maybe our children or family members, and there's going to be a bit of a silent treatment involved, but then there's going to be a head-to-head combat. And I'm talking intellectually about what the future holds. This is going to happen on a global level as well. So there is going to be some insight throughout the weekend engaging in what's happening with our future, specifically around children, gender, and family. That's going to come out very strong. So if you're following that in the mainstream news or the non-mainstream news, you're going to see it highlight probably later in on Sunday. There's going to be a massive protest around it, and that's what's going to begin this next 3-week cycle on Mercury retrograde. Everything is going to go amiss. People are going to be arguing about what's right and what's wrong. And there's going to be a lot of psychological agenda around this. And that's why I think that they're going to globally, either Canada or the United States, is going to bring in psychological assessments on everyone involved around the whole healthcare industry in the gender format. My personal advice, I've got family members involved in all of this on a professional level, on a personal level, and I have empathy and sympathy and understanding for both sides and all areas. So I really don't have an opinion at all about what's right or wrong, what's good or bad. And if I do have a slight opinion, I'm not even going to share that here. Okay, because it really is none of my business. Now, so what I'm saying is what I'm seeing astrologically. Now, for those of you who are astrological buffs, we're going to take a look at why I am saying that Mercury retrograde is going to bring up the psychological assessment because it's in Mercury is in Scorpio. And this starts on the 26th. The 26th hasn't come yet. We've still got 4 more days because this is the 22nd of November, but we're going to feel the onset of it right now. And what is Scorpio? Scorpio is all about psychology, psyche, manipulation, mass manipulation, psychologically convincing somebody that something needs to be done or not be done. It's all around your psyche and your psychology, mis and disinformation. It's misunderstood information. Scorpio is below the surface. It can be used in a good way when we do detailed research, such as researching any type of research, really. That's what it entails with Scorpio. But it also has to do with the psyche and the psychology of a person or a mass psychology of a nation or an industry. Scorpio has to do with fears. What are you afraid of? What are you fearful of? And that's all based on, guess what? Yes, your psychology, your mindset. Mind manipulation is part of that as well. This can happen on a personal level, you and your partner, you and a friend. You could be easily manipulated by what somebody says, and it may not even be their intention to do that. It's just that their belief system, which now we're going into Venus in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is all about your belief system, your philosophy. I notice I said that earlier because your philosophy is what you have gathered throughout your life, or maybe from your parents or your family, your culture, or your social standings is based on that belief system. And if you're independent on your belief system, it may be just based on your what you need to help you survive your surroundings. I believe in God because God helps me. The knowledge or knowing of God helps me ground myself and keep me from harming myself through bad or inadequate substances. I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying in general, because I'm not a big Bible thumper, God thumper person at all. You know, Somebody might believe in atheism because of the exact same reason. Somebody might believe that, I need to protest against the food industry. So I only eat organic foods or buy from local farmers. That is me. And that's my philosophy around it based on knowledge. A lot of times with Sagittarius energy, it's based on knowledge. And Venus is all about love. I love my philosophy. I love to speak about my philosophy. That's the energy that we're in right now. So it's a little bit uncomfortable with Scorpio, but not completely. It's like, what are the lies? Where am I being manipulated? What are my addictions? That's what Scorpio energy is well too. So anybody might be dealing with their addiction issues throughout the next 3 weeks, starting on the 26th, feeling it right now. And how is it related to my family dynamic? That's the moon in Cancer, but guess what? Mars is in Cancer as well too. And Mars is going to be in the sign of Cancer and will go retrograde on the 5th of December. It's really important to understand that because starting at the 5th of December, moving into the 17th of December, that small time frame, we're going to look at the family dynamic and the generations of addiction. How's it going to affect our children if we have children? How is it affecting me? Do I feel nurtured? Do I feel I need to alienate myself from those family members? You're going to be your own psychologist during this time. You're going to have this little psychologist in your head while you're dialoguing this. The psychologist is going to come in and go, I'm going to psychoanalyze this. Let's do a deep dive. Let's go a little bit more serious about this. Oh, maybe I have some resentment. When the psychologist isn't there, then what happens? We have resentment. We have remorse, or we have a plan of getting back. Okay, retaliation. So we want to be careful around that because that can happen. And that means that deep, heart-centered emotions are being fired up, are being triggered. So let that psychologist come in. And let that psychoanalytical person come in. Don't go down too many deep rabbit holes, but watch movies or TV shows that are going to bring out the water flows. Let yourself cry. Let yourself curl up in a ball. Eat your Haagen-Dazs ice cream one night, not every night. And delve into the depths of your soul that is being triggered. And I will give you a secret is often our triggers have to do with what's going on around us on a global level. You're an individual person, but you are also connected to a culture, a collective. And this collective, there are a portal of people that are also going through childhood trauma where there was sexual abuse. There is a portal of people that have gone through childhood trauma where there was manipulation and there is mass manipulation. There are people that have been abused by a parent, physically beaten to a pulp. And there's masses amount of people that are in war and are fighting for their lives because other countries are beating them down to a pulp. So you are interconnected with that energy. You don't have to go down that deep rabbit hole. But if you recognize your own trauma and stop your own personal cycle, guess what? You stop the cycle of generation, maybe your children or generations gone by energetically as well. And that generation can change the dynamic of a culture, and the culture can change the dynamic of a nation, and the nation can change the dynamic of the world. And this is where we want to be. This is where we want to end up. In this lifetime, we can do micro changes, but eventually, because we're going to keep coming back to our playground, we're going to make a macro change. And this will be a beautiful, pleasant place to live. It'll be Eden again. Namaste.